Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whichever is the time that you're here connecting with us to read together the chapter 7 from the book Foundations, Electricity and Electrical Safety. Trying to close this and I can't. Okay, so he says, let's make it big then. There we go. You decided to enter this field because you love beauty and wellness and all of the services it offers to clients, from hairstyling and hair coloring to facials, massage, and nail wraps. How many of these services could you offer without using electricity? Very interesting. I think a lot of them need electricity. Electricity is the movement of electrons from one atom to another along a conductor. Electricity is a form of energy that, when in motion, exhibits magnetical, chemical, or thermal effects. Electric current is the flow of electricity along a conductor. All materials can be classified as conductors or not conductors. A conductor is any material that conducts electricity. Most metals are good conductors. Copper is a good conductor. A non-conductor is also known as an insulator, a material that does not transmit electricity, like rubber, silk, wood, glass, and cement, are good insulators. A complete electricity circuit is the path that navigates a positive electric current take from the generating source through the conductor and back to the generating source. Types of electricity. We have direct and alternating current. Direct current is constant, even flow current that travels in one direction, only is produced by a chemical mean. And the alternating current is a rapid and interrupted current, flowing first in one direction and then to the opposite direction. Under the direct current, we have an inverter. An inverter is an apparatus that changes direct current to alternating current. So under alternating current, we have a rectifier which changes alternating current to direct current. Electric measurements. We measure the electricity by volts, ampere, milliampere, ohm, watt, kilowatt. A kilowatt is 1000 watts. The electricity in your house is measured by kilowatts. A watt is a unit that measures how much electric energy is being used in 1 second. An ohm is the unit that measures resistance of the electric current. A milliampere is 1 in 1000 of an ampere. The current is used for facial and scalp treatments because an ampere current is too strong. Ampere. Ampere is the unit that measures strength of the electricity current. A volt, also known as voltage, is the unit that measures pressure. So, volt measures pressures. Ampere measures strength. Ohm measures resistance. Watts measures how much electricity is being used per second. So safety for our equipment. We need to know what a fuse is and a circuit breaker. A fuse prevents excessive current from passing through the circuit. It is designed to blow out or melt when the wire becomes too hot from overloading. A circuit breaker is a switch that automatically interrupts or shuts off an electric circuit at the first indications of overload. And here we have pictures. And the first one is the fuse, and the second one is the circuit breaker. Grounding. Grounding completes an electric circuit and carries the current safely away. It's another important way to promote electrical safety. And here we have a 2-prong plug and a 3-prong plug. The 3-prong plug is safetier. Okay? Why? Because this third circular electric connection, that is the grounding pin. And remember that grounding is when the electric circuit carries the current safely away. Grounding fault interrupter. I don't know if you have seen on your wall in the bathrooms and in the kitchens, you're going to see this type of interrupter that it has a reset and a test button in the middle. Usually they're put where there's water, kitchens and bathrooms. It's designed to protect from electrical shock by interrupting a household circuit when there's a leak in the circuit. And there's the picture. UL. UL stands for underwriters. They certify the safety of the electrical appliances. Guidelines for safe use. So our guidelines are going to be the following. For them to be UL certified, we have to read instructions, manufacturer instructions. We have to register our appliance. We have to inspect them to see that they're not broken, and so on. What to do in an electrical emergency? We have to stop. We have to unplug if we're able to. We have to replace. We cannot keep using something that is broken. Identify electrotherapy modalities. The use of electrical currents to treat the skin is referred as electrotherapy. Currents used in electrical, facial, and scalp treatments are called modalities. Modalities produces a different effect on the skin. An electrode, also known as a probe, is an applicator for different electric current from electrotherapy device to the client's skin. Polarity. Polarity refers to the poles of an electric current, either positive or negative. The positive electrode is called anode. The anode is usually red with the P or plus sign. The negative electrode is called a cathode. It is usually black and is marked N or with a minus sign. And here we see it, red anode, black cathode. Anode, red, plus sign. Cathode, black, minus sign. Under modalities, we have galvanic current. A galvanic current is a constant and direct current having a positive and negative pole that produces chemical changes when it passes through the tissue and the fluids of the body. We have two different chemical reactions are possible with galvanic current. This will be depending on the positive or negative use. We have an active electrode. It is the electrode used on the area to be treated. The inactive electrode is the opposite pole from the active electron. The effect produced by the positive pole are the exact opposite produced by the negative pole. In this little table, we have positive pole anode, that is catophoresis, and we have negative pole cathode, that is anaphoresis. As follows, we have iontophoresis, that is the process of infusing water-soluble products into the skin with the use of an electric current. Cataphoresis. Cataphoresis is infuse an acid, positive, product into the deeper tissue using galvanic current. Anaphoresis. Anaphoresis infuses an alkaline negative product into the tissue from the negative pole toward the positive pole. Microcurrent. Microcurrent is an extremely low level of electricity that mirrors the body's natural electrical impulses. Microcurrent can be used for iontophoresis, firming, toning, and smoothing the skin. Tesla high-frequency current. The Tesla high-frequency current, also known as Biloy rate, is thermal and heat-producing current with a high rate of oscillation or vibration that is commonly used for scalp and facial treatments. Tesla current does not produce muscle contractions, and the effects can be either stimulating or smoothing, depending on the method of application. The electrodes are made from either glass or metal, and only one electrode is used to perform the services. And here we can see the picture. Which are the benefits of this? Of the Tesla high frequency? Stimulates blood circulation, increases elimination and absorption, increases skin metabolism, improves germicidal action, relieves skin congestions. Discuss light energy. The electromagnetic spectrum, also known as electromagnetic spectrum of radiation, is the name given to all the forms of energy that exist. The forms of energy in the electromagnetic spectrum are radio waves used by radios and televisions. Microwaves. Light waves, these are infrared light, visible light, and ultraviolet light used for light therapy services. X-rays used by physicians and dentists. And gamma rays that are used for nuclear power plants. As follow, you can see this picture of the different type of electromagnetic spectrum. Up here, you can see the frequency of how apart they are and how they get tighter together. The stronger, the closer together they are. Energy moves space in waves. These waves are similar to the waves caused when a stone is dropped on the surface of water. Each type of energy has its own wavelength. A wavelength is the distance between successive peaks of electromagnetic waves. A waveform is the measurement of the distance between two wavelengths. Some wavelengths are long and some are short, as shown on the picture. Let's go back to the picture again. So these are the waves. Long wavelengths have low frequency, meaning that the number of waves is less frequent within waveform pattern. Short wavelengths have higher frequency because the number of waves is more frequent within waveform patterns. In this table below, we see the difference between the long wavelength and the short wavelength. So a long wavelength is low frequency, deeper penetration, and less energy. A short wavelength is high frequency, less penetration, and more energy. Here we see an example of low frequency. The waves are apart. And high frequency, they're closer because they're shorter. Now we're going to talk about the visible spectrum of light. Visible light is the part of the electromagnetic spectrum that can be seen. Within the visible spectrum of light, violet has the shortest wavelength and red has the longest. Wavelengths of light are measured in nanometers. 1 nanometer is a billionth of a meter. Visible light was wavelength ranging from 400 to 700 nanometers. In this little box, we have the percentage of every light. The visible light is 35%. The invisible infrared light is 60%. And the invisible ultraviolet light is 5%. I'm trying to highlight. Can't highlight. Here we have the picture of the visible spectrum light divided into infrared and ultraviolet. The invisible light is the light at either end of the visible spectrum and is invisible to the naked eye. Ultraviolet light is the abbreviation of this is UV and is also known as cold light. It's invisible and has a short wavelength. It is less penetrating than visible light. UV light promotes skin to produce vitamin D. There are 3 types of UV lights. We have UVA, UVB, and UVC. The UVA is the longest wavelength and it penetrates the dermis and it damages your collagen and elasticin. This light we can find on the tanning beds. The UVB is often called burning light because it's the most associated with sunburns. Excessive use of UVA and UVB light can cause skin cancer. So we don't want to be exposed to the sun for a long time. The UVC is blocked by the ozone layer. So we have to keep our atmosphere safe. Infrared light has a longer wave and penetrates more deeply, has less energy, and produces more heat than the visible light. Catalysts. Catalysts are substances that speed up a chemical reaction. This vocab word, you're going to see in a couple of chapters. It's also on your monomer and polymer because it speeds the process. Light therapy. Light therapy, also known as phototherapy, is the application of light rays on the skin for the treatment for wrinkles or pigmentation. So our chapter for today is come to an end. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night, whichever was the time that you connected with us to see or to watch or listen to this video. I'll see you next time.